All right, Ian Green of Top Boxing News here. I'm pleasure to be joined by two-time super lightweight world champion and now author Regis Prograis. Regis, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm all good, baby. All good. A little tired, but I'm cool. I'm good.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this past Saturday you had a book signing event. How did that go?
It was cool, bro. That was my second one. The first one we did in New Orleans, we had a good little turnout. And the second one, which was out here in Houston, it was even better. I went to my first boxing gym I ever when I started boxing, Savannah Boxing Gym, and we actually had a way bigger turnout than I thought. So it was cool, bro. And for me, I'm gonna continue doing them. I'm gonna do a few more, run around the country and do more.
I'm in school right now, and I have some writing assignments that I do, and
Right,
that seems like a lot for me. I can't imagine writing an entire book. You're
right, right.
a lifelong boxer. How did you make the turnover to be an author of a book, and how did you find the struggles and what really led you to want to write a book? I guess.
Honestly, brother, it's so I didn't write the book. My partner wrote it for me. He just my partner Ross Williams is a childhood friend I knew from New Orleans since we was like, elementary school. So he wrote the book for me, and we did a lot of interview like we're doing now. We did a bunch of interviews. We did a lot of voice notes and one on ones, and that's how it came about. So I didn't actually write the book myself, but he just told my story for me.
Mhm. I'm sure it came out the way you wanted to, though. You feel he represented your
Yeah.
story very well.
Yeah, well, it was good because, like I said, this dude is, I've been knowing him since like childhood, since elementary school. So I've been knowing him over 20 years. So and then he experienced a lot of things. I've been through like Hurricane Katrina and all that type of stuff, and I knew him. He knew my family since we was young. So he just happened to be an author, and I was like, let's cool, let's go ahead and he told me he wanted to write my book, and that's why we did it. So for me, it came out perfect.
Mhm. Can we be expecting any other books in the future? Do you think this was
For
just
sure. For
yeah?
sure. Part two. We could do a part two. Stories and lessons part two. Right now we did part one. Honestly, we could do a part two. Part two is gonna be way more interesting because part one stopped at after Zapata fight. That's what part one stopped. But really, honestly, bro, my life got way more interesting. The highs and lows, bads and goods after that. After I won the belt the second time, life really got interested for me. So I think that would be way better. The part one that's like, like the Lil Wayne Carter one. Part two is gonna be even better. So I'm definitely excited about part two because it's gonna be way more stuff that a lot of people can learn. Because like I said, part one stopped after I became a two-time world champion. After I fought Zapata, part one was it complete. But really after that, that's when life got really interesting for me. So part two gonna be way better.
I have not gotten a chance to read the book myself. I will be getting a copy soon and reading it. But talk to me a little. How much of the book is based on your boxing career, and how much of it is based on your personal life, and how does the book kind of balance both of those?
It's really kind of both of them. I mean, um, I don't know exact number of chapters, but early it was more personal life. I started boxing late. I started when I was like 16, 17 years old. So maybe like halfway through, that's when we start getting to like boxing and all that type of stuff. But I was I started late. So a lot of the early parts of the book is more personal life.
Mhm. Now touching back into your boxing career, back in early August, you fought Joseph Jojo Diaz, and repping the hat here was down in Chicago. I was actually down there
Right.
for that one. It was a tremendous fight. It got the publicity it deserved after the fact. You came
Right.
out with the win. Just before we go into what's next and all that, just talk about that fight a little.
It was great, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, so for me, one thing I have, I don't have a good trait. Is like I underestimate everybody I fight. I'm like, man, I'm gonna smoke him because I train really hard. I don't train to win. I train to dominate. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna kill this dude. And I know he had just fought and stuff like that. So, but it was like, man, I'm gonna kill Jojo. I was looking at his record and stuff, and man, he came out to fight. He really came out he came out to prove something. He came out to fight, and it was a great fight. And I feel like, man, if I wouldn't have never trained as hard as I did at this stage of my career, I probably would have lost because it came down to that conditioning in my heart. Like, and of course you can have a heart all you want, but if you don't have the conditioning, the heart knock it's only gonna take you so far. But I had a man, I trained my ass off, and I've been training in Vegas now, and I trained so hard, bro, like running in mountains and running sprints and running stairs and doing all the sparring I did and I went 2 months straight, and that was my first time ever doing this. I went 2 months straight, and just in Vegas, and all I did is just train every day. All day long was based around training. So I'm glad I did that. And for me, next fight will be even better because I'm going to do the same thing again.
Talking about the next fight, I mean, whenever there's an amazing fight, the obvious the obvious one word that's rained around after is rematch. And
Right.
I remember in the venue, people were like, "Oh, love to see a rematch, love to see a rematch." It was recently announced that JoJo Diaz is going to be taking on Floyd Schofield in
Mm,
November. So the rematch is obviously not the next move. So I'm
right.
curious, were there any rematch talks, and if not, what do you believe is the next move for you?
No, I mean for me, I don't really know what's the next move. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they told me I was gonna try to fight beginning of the, before the end of the year, but now I'm hearing like probably beginning of the year. So I know I won't be fighting no time soon. But at first, yeah, people was rumbling about the rematch thing, but I don't think it was ever like gonna come into fruition. Like I mean, the money we getting, I don't think that they was willing to pay for like a rematch. So you know, now he, like I said, now he got, JoJo's just trying to rack him up. He just, he trying to rack up as many fights as he can, I guess, and get as much money as he can. Now he fighting Floyd Schofield.
Mhm. You've been quite around in the boxing world, whether it's the fight you just had against Jojo Diaz, the Jack Catterall fight, the Devin Haney fight, the Josh Taylor fight, William Zepeda we just mentioned. I could go on. You've two-time world champion, as I mentioned to start off the interview. You've accomplished so much. What are you still in boxing for, and what are you looking to accomplish in your career?
I love the sport, bro. That's the main thing. I got boxes tattooed all on my arms. Like I really love the sport. That's the main thing. I feel like I just have I still have that itch. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I'm about to be 36. So 37, man. I'm crazy. I forgot about how old I was. I'm about to be 37 in January, so at the end of January. So but I still just love it, man. I still love boxing. It's just something I wouldn't even know to do with myself, to be honest. I like it's you have stages in your life to where, you know, you doing this, and then maybe after the next stage is doing something else, but I don't really even know what to do my next stage. And it's like I just still really love boxing. I really love for me, I like to push myself. Like today I trained and I don't have nothing coming up, but I ran sprints and stuff, like I was killing myself today, and I'm not in training camp. I kind of I feel like I like that burn. I'm always like doing something. Just now before I got an interview, I did push-ups just now. It's just like I feel like I just really love to work out. I like how I like to make my physique look a little different, and I just like to fight. I really love boxing. So when I'm pushing myself now, I do want to become a champion again. And maybe I am gonna be one of those people that's gonna be hard to get away from the sport because I just love it. I'm not gonna lie, I just really truly love boxing. I love fighting. It's really nothing like that, bro. Like when you train for 2 months and you go walk through the arena and you see all those people, and then get through the ropes, and you just across from people, you across from somebody, and it just feel good. It feel unreal. So I think that maybe, they'll have to drag me out the sport one day, because I really do love it. But of course, I know I'm getting older, and when you do get older, you have a high risk of being hurt. So I mean, hopefully, nothing bad happens to me one day. But right now, I still love the sport, and I can still. The thing is, I still love it. I'm still passionate, but at the same time, my body can still take the beating. That's the thing. Sometimes your body just you love it, but your body can't take that beat no more. My body can still take the abuse of training as much as I train, and take the abuse of sparring and doing all that stuff. Like still, right now, punches really don't hurt me. That's the thing. I can spar all these young guys, and it don't do nothing to me. But eventually, one day, I know like it's gonna slow down, but I didn't yet.
Yeah, you just mentioned there. You said the mind keeps going, the body sometimes can't keep up with it. I recall a fighter who said that pretty recently was Canelo Alvarez following his defeat
Mhm.
to Terrence Crawford. That was obviously maybe the biggest fight of the decade. I think it's pretty
Right.
recognized as the biggest fight of the decade. As an expert in the sport, I wondered what your thoughts were on that whole fight.
Oh man, first off, I mean, the thing is both of them are getting older, I mean, I give for me, I give Terrence Crawford all the props in the world, bro, because I didn't think he was gonna pull that off. I picked him. You can look at my interviews before, and I picked Canelo to win. I didn't think he was gonna beat him, but Crawford, I mean, the thing is, Crawford, he doesn't. It's like he has a lot of wear and tear. He's older, but he the same thing. He's clean like I am. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do no drugs. I just like to train. Like all the time. I just like to train. A lot of fighters don't live like that. Like so, when you don't do that, you already have a step up in competition. When you don't do those things, you just want to train. And I feel like that's kind of what he does. Like people that I don't know him personally like that. I know him, but not personally. But people that's around him, they said, man, this dude, he a beast. Like all he do is train all he want to do is train all day. That's it. And he don't do none of that stuff. He just train all day, don't smoke, don't drink, and do no drugs. So when you doing that, you living clean, you will be. it gives you a big advantage. So for me, to get back to the question, I'm definitely like, it was inspirational. You know, dude just turned 38 the other day, to yesterday or something like that, and that to see that, that's like super inspirational.
Yeah, you actually just brought it up. Crawford, you just said he's now 38 and he's still, performing it. It looks to be some of the best. He's having some of the best performances of his career. And you
Hmm.
mentioned yourself, you cut out smoking and drinking. You don't do that. You
No, I
eliminate.
don't do it. I never cut it out. I never did it.
Yeah, never did it. And
Never
you
did it. All right.
do you think? And you just mentioned you're turning 37 in January, I believe you said, correct?
Hmm.
So and you're obviously still fighting at a top level. Do you believe eliminating distractions like that can lead in turn to more longevity in the sport?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. When you do that, it's yeah, and it's not just that. It is like you said, distractions. You know, like I'm not gonna lie, like I was distracted in some of my career, some fights in my career. I was distracted by different things like women and just outside distractions what I wasn't supposed to be doing. But when you take those things, or when you cut those things, like it is a like I said, you have a big step up in competition, and not just a lot of fights might do it while they in camp, but like when you do that outside of camp, it really does show. Because I have I know people that they drink their ass off. They fighters and they really drink a lot, outside the camp. But it'll just shorten your career. And for me, I don't want to shorten my career. Boxing is hard enough already, especially on the brain, the body. So, when you're doing that, it makes it even harder.
I got the chance to interview. It was a couple months before your fight against Jack Catterall, I believe, and a term you echoed a lot in that interview was three-time champion. You mentioned constantly you wanted to achieve world champion status for the third time. Is that something you're still looking at? Is that one of the goals for you still?
Yeah, for me, for sure, it is. If and like, yeah, that's something I really do want. I want it. That's what kind of keep me going so much. That's what's kind of keep me, like I said, doing push-ups and training like I'm doing. I do want to become a champion again, and I do feel like I'm going to get it just because I changed up a lot of things in my career. I had, like I said, I don't smoke and drink and do drugs, but I was distracted by other things, outside influences, and now I cut all that stuff out. It is a little late in my career, but at the same time, like I feel like it's better late than never. So I'm doing that, and I feel like with the coaches I have now, I feel like I will be a champion again.
You've suffered the losses against Taylor, Haney, and Catterall, but it seems after those losses, you've come back better, and then you've suffered the losses again, but you come back better, and suffered the Catterall loss, come back better against Jojo Diaz. How in your career, just break it down to me a little, do you think you have handled losses, and how have you handled them to the point where it shows that you can turn it around and return even stronger?
Just because I don't look at losses like everybody probably would look at a loss. I look at loss as a lesson, bro. It's only a loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, when I came up in Savannah Boxing Gym, I came up around Holyfield. Holyfield was there, and I think if I'm not mistaken, at the time, Holyfield lost more fights than any other heavyweight champion ever. But he won. He's the only full-time champion in the history of boxing. He's the only full-time heavyweight champion ever. So, and he said the same thing. A loss is just you learn from it. That's all. You go out there, you learn from your losses. So for me, I did. Like after Josh Taylor, I learned. I came back and became a two-time champion. And then after Haney fight, Mm, I feel like I learned. I did. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I learned some stuff from that. I didn't do the same thing, but then I still lost against the Catterall. But I ain't gonna lie. With the Catterall fight, bro, I was winning that shit so easy. I really sprained my ankle. Like once I sprained my ankle, I was done. And then I think cause I dropped Catterall with a jab, and it was like I was swagged out. I was good. I felt good. I felt loose in a fight, and everything was like flowing good, and I didn't have basically the Haney mindset wasn't there no more. I kind of erased the Haney fight. I erased that from my mind. I know it's still up, but I erased it from my mind, how I felt and all that stuff, and the emotions going through me. And I took that, with the Catterall fight. I was really calm, bro. Like in the dressing room, I was really calm. I was good. I was relaxed, and I was really confident. And like I said, I was out there and I was styling. I was good. I was beating him with the jab, easy. Dropped him with a jab. And then I twisted my ankle, and then once I twisted my ankle, that was it. I was just kind of done. So I mean, I know it's a loss on my record, but for me, I don't look at it like that just because I know I twisted my ankle.
You just hit me with those Holyfield facts. I didn't even know those. You seem like a pretty big boxing historian yourself. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Right.
but you
I
seem like
am.
a pretty big fan of the sport. I'm kind of just curious from a fan's perspective. Who are some of your favorite fighters of all time and current day? Who are some of your favorite guys that you like to watch?
I mean, well, the thing is, like, you mean best ever or the best? My favorite. My favorite was Mike Tyson coming up. My favorite was, he Yeah, my favorite was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson and Duran, and Duran is Tyson's favorite. I like killers, bro. So I think my three favorite probably was like is Mike Tyson, Duran, and maybe like a Marvin Hagler, right? But I'm a historian. It's the thing is it's so hard to pick like who is the best ever. But you know you gotta look at the best ever is I feel like heavyweight like a Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, maybe like a Lennox Lewis. Right now, Usyk is in that conversation. Um, the best ever. You got to put Floyd in there. You know, Floyd, uh, Pacquiao, man, who else? Yeah, Floyd Pacquiao, somebody like Andre Ward. But it's hard to, of course, Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong. But it's just hard to go against Floyd because it's about the quality opposition. Floyd beat the most world champions in the history of sport. You know, so it's really hard to to go against him. You know, and like for me, I think the best ever was probably if I had to say the best person ever to do it, I would probably say like between Floyd and Ray Robinson. And you got to put as a heavyweight, you got to put Muhammad Ali. But they had just so many great fighters, bro. It depends on like what you like. You at one time, Roy Jones, when Roy Jones was the heavyweight, if he retired right there, Roy Jones, they would have considered him the best ever. You know, and you got I mean, you got people like I said, like a Duran, Ray Leonard, Hagler, Tommy Hearns, just so many great fighters, bro. So it all depends on like what you like. And I'm for me, I like killers. You know, I'm not I never when I was coming up, I was like in the killers. That's all, not like boxers, you know. But I started watching people like Pernell Whitaker and and of course like a slick southpaw. But yeah, it's hard to say who is the best. For me, it's like it's different between my favorite and the best ever.
Mhm. I guess to follow up on that point, leading up into your, pro journey and career, do you think you maybe not, directly copied, but maybe modeled your style off of any guys you watched looking up?
Yeah, probably Duran. More for me, I always wanted to be like a left-handed Duran. You know, even some fights I hold my hands like Duran. Duran used to hold his hand like this, and I would try to hold my hands like that because I know I'm strong and I want to be a killer. You know, I kind of got away from that now because I'm getting older and people started learning how to fight that style. You know, it's just like with that type of style, you just kind of run around and box. You know, if somebody kill us, so I kind of started adjusting to it, but yeah. Early in my career, I tried to just emulate so many people. I watched so much boxing. I kind of don't do it no more because I boxing kind of got boring to me because I watched so much of it already. And but at first earlier, yeah, it was like more Tyson at first, and I know I can't be like Tyson, but then it was more like once I started watching Durant and like Marvin Hagler, I was just like I fell in love with those styles.
Yeah, last one I got for here, Regis, just a, closing statement. When you do get back in the ring, anticipated hopefully for early next year, what can fans expect from Regis Prograis?
For me to just go out there and be hungry, you know, like be out there, be a focused Regis. That's the main thing. Like when I'm focused, bro, I feel like nobody can't beat me, you know. So I was really focused, you know, in camp against JoJo, I was really focused. Even with the Catterall camp, I was like, I was really focused. With Devin camp, I wasn't focused at all, to be honest. But just to go out there and be focused and just be hungry again. I feel like, I'm maturing now and a lot of those things don't really excite me no more. All the distractions I used to have, they don't really excite me. You know, what excites me now is just like I want to go out there and win. I want to be a champion again, and of course, being around my kids and stuff like that. So, I think that's the main thing you just expect. And of course, I'm gonna go out there and just have fun with it. Yeah, I'm more mature now. So like, I used to want to call out everybody, but like, man, I did all that stuff, and that shit don't even have. It don't even matter, bro. Because as me coming up, I used to call out all these fighters, and the fight never happened. You know, for a long time, I mean, I called out Adrian Broner, I called out Terrence Crawford, called out Mikey Garcia, Jose Ramirez, and like I never fought none of these guys. So it don't even make sense to like be calling nobody out no more. For me, it's just like, man, when my manager tell me a fight is on the table, that's when I talk shit to him. You know what I'm saying? So if not, then we leave it alone.
Mhm. All right, Regis, those are all the questions I've got for you today. What else do you want to tell the fans before we close here?
Man, just go cop the book, bro. Stories and Lessons by Regis Prograis. It's on Amazon right now. It's an Amazon bestseller. So, yeah, just go cop that. Go see what it's about.
All right, Regis, that's all I've got for you. I thank you so much for coming on. And I look forward to seeing you back in the ring and hopefully early next year.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, bro.
All
Nice
right,
to
thanks,
meet you.
Regis.